Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us again today. What we want to be talking about is how to eliminate a backlog of overdue work orders and close calls faster to enhance your technician productivity. So look, after processing over 1 million work orders, we've found that a lot of food equipment service companies have about a dozen areas around their back office that are leaking profits. And so it's more evident in companies processing over 1,000 work orders a month, but it's still very relevant in smaller companies. And look, if calls aren't being answered live, if new service requests are going unprocessed for 3+ days, then estimates take another couple of days to go out. This can quickly snowball into 5 or 6 figures of profit loss every month. So the good news is plugging these profit leaks doesn't take a lot of money and resources and can keep a lot more profits in your bank account. So this has all been done by not hiring technicians or new technicians to try and boost that cash flow and that profitability. So look, I'm really excited to talk to Alvin today, Origo's Client Success Manager, and want to introduce Alvin. Alvin, can you give us a bit of background on your experience, mate, and who you are?
Yeah, thank you so much, Scott. Hi, everyone. I am Alvin, the lead customer and client success manager of Origo, who currently oversees 15 different industries. I look after large FES business with 500 technicians and small businesses with 10 technicians. I have a total of 170 team members under my wing, and I've been in the BPO or offshore industry for more than 15 years and have assisted the clients in achieving their desired output.
Yeah, wonderful, mate. Certainly a huge range of experience that you have, and we're very welcome team member. I think you've worked for us now for 3 or 4 years.
3 years, Scott.
3 years. There we go. Time flies when we're having fun. Well, let's get into it, Alvin. If you would like to kick it off, let's talk about this customer service aspect first.
All right. So, Scott, what I'll be sharing with you today is the result of our experience in processing over 1 million of work orders, and in fact more. This is something that I did not study online. This is what we did on a daily basis. Yep. So in one of Rohan's sessions, he went over the triangle of optimization. Sure. Whenever we're looking at building and scaling up a remote team, you would really want to look at the triad, the people, the process, and the technology. So with our conversation today, we're going to focus on the process, and we're going to talk about more in customer service and dispatch.
Wonderful,
right.
Mate.
Our next session is more on collections and billing, on how we can bring more revenue every month. And then future sessions is we're going to tackle about asset management, tech support, and admin. Let me go ahead and flash my screen, Scott, with the work order lifecycle. Okay.
Thanks, Alvin.
By the way, I'd like to give credit to Giner with. Oh, sorry,
Giner from SmartCare there has. We've managed to take inspiration from one of his slides. So thanks, Gina.
Yep. Thank you so much, Gina.
I'm sure he won't mind.
It's we took the inspiration from Gina, and then we just put our own spin on it. So these are the people, the process, and the technology, Scott, and the KPI, the triad of optimization. For the technology, these are the software that our client uses, not specifically on one client. So we're here not to promote this software. Okay, it's just a reference.
Yeah, I guess that's just a technology stack that is kind of indicative across a few different clients. We had to whack some brands in there, but no, this certainly isn't about identifying tech today. But no, crack on, mate. Let's have a look at this customer service. I'm sure everyone's interested to find out how we can fix some profit leaks.
I see.
So Alvin, tell us about customer service and some of the common profit leaks we see. Talk to us a little bit about one of them there. Calls not being answered. Let's dive into that one.
All right. Calls not being answered in real time. This is where a team member doesn't have the capacity to take another call. Due to call queuing, there's a lot of calls in the queue, emails in the queue. So what impacts it to the business is that at the end of the day, there would be lesser service call, lesser tech productivity due to lesser service call entered for the day. And then customer may reach out to another provider to have their kitchen equipment serviced by another company.
So excellent. So we really need to know about this because, again, the cost can be potentially we could lose that business.
Yes, potentially you could. Yes, potentially we could lose that business, Scott. And doing the math, let's say for a day, for one day, there are four missed calls, and those missed calls are all service calls. And then you have technicians who has lesser productivity, so it may.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what, $500 a work order times 5 days, times 5 times a week. That's already thousands of dollars per technician. And you ramp that up to a business that has 300 or 500 technicians. That's a heck of a lot of money. But even for some of the execs out there with, say, 10 technicians, that's still a huge chunk of change. So really interesting. That is a big cost. Why does it happen? Why are we missing calls, and why is an answering machine not good enough?
Okay. Why are we missing calls? First is staffing issues, Scott, a limited workforce, where a team member are not staffed correctly when and where they are needed. Let's say during peak hours, we only have two team members staff, wherein in reality, we need 5 to 10 team members in that peak
Right,
hours. Yep.
right.
So that will result to a lot of missed calls, customer not happy, staying in the queue, results to, again, going to another provider. And then the other one is a team member is performing different customer service functions, multitasking. Like while on a call, they are answering emails, they're
Sure,
answering portal inquiry, they're answering chat from a technician or from a customers. That
sure.
will prolong their handle time and, again, missed some of this calls waiting.
Okay, excellent. Something to really look into. What else have we got in customer service that we notice?
Oh, I'd like to add something as well, or
Sure.
again, Scott, with calls not answered in real time. Other reason why we missed on some of the calls is again, no solid foundation for our team member, no solid foundation of product knowledge, where they tend to ask questions who's not relevant or who are not relevant in the call,
Right.
and in turn, longer handling time. Again, missed calls.
Okay, so you're really talking about a customer service agent not trained up well enough.
Yes, that's true, Scott.
Um,
Yep.
okay, so yeah, excellent. My ice machine's broken. Can you give me the serial number of the heater or the gas
Yeah.
line? And quite clearly, the person on the other end of the line, confidence.
Yep.
I'm glad I don't take these calls, because that's exactly how that would go, mate. Wonderful. What's the next one? Let's get into this. Customer service. You've got down here long handle time. Tell us a little bit about what that means.
Long handling time, where a team member is not familiar with the issue of the customer. Let's say the customer is talking about another product. Let's say vending machine. He's
Hmm.
talking about vending machine, but or the customer is talking about vending machine, where the team member is not that familiar, or it's not covered during the training.
Right.
That
Okay. So
will
again, this
that will
probably relates back to SOPs, documentation, and then the lack of product knowledge or training on those specific calls.
That is true, Scott. When it comes to lack of documentation and SOP, instead of again going back and forth to an L2 escalation, if we have those available,
Hmm.
we can have our team work independently,
Hmm.
and again, it will lessen the handling time of the team member.
Yeah, excellent. I like that. So having a look at handle times is really crucial, guys, as well. Just because we're answering the call, we really want to have a look at that handle time to make sure that your busy customers and clients are not spending huge amounts of time on the phone trying to explain something that could be very simple to explain if the receiver is well trained and knows how to receive that information and get it down. And I think that's a great segue into the next one that I can see here, Alvin. Let's talk about the information entered.
For the incorrect information or lack of information entered on a service call, it leads to repeat calls and escalations, Scott.
Hmm.
This is where you need to look on your script, like the call script and handling calls. We need to make sure that, again, proper questions or right
Hmm.
questions are asked following the template in an ERP software.
Hmm.
So basically, that's it, Scott. You just need to make sure that you have, or your team members have a solid foundation in using your ERP software, call script, and the product knowledge.
Yep. Okay, I got it. Let's go into dispatch. We talk about some of the profit leaks we see inside dispatch.
All right, so for profit leaks for dispatch, we have identified three. One is calls not dispatched in real time.
What does that mean? Can you explain? Can we give a scenario? What does a call not dispatched in real time mean to us?
All right, this is after a customer service entered a service call or a work order that will be passed on to a dispatch team member, where a dispatch team member needs to, again, allocate that work order to a technician, making sure that we optimize the day of the technician, like following the route of the technician. If this technician A is nearby to that location, that dispatch team member needs to make sure that that work order is assigned to that technician. This again to save time and to make sure that we have, again, the productivity of the technician in a day is being maximized.
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't want text dispatch without the right equipment on board, or having, and again, this is about the best case scenarios, but hopefully they're armed with the correct information from the client in terms of what they're actually running into. Obviously, guys and girls out there, I know that customers don't always get it right, can't even provide you with a serial number. So today we're not really focused on, and I know this has come through a lot of the feedback that I've seen and heard from everyone during the summit, but today's not really focusing about how the lack of information from the customer. We'll talk about that one day, but how can we best do our jobs in customer service and in dispatch? And I think that's a clear one there, Alvin. It's definitely going to be costing us money if we're sending texts out that we don't know really what they're running into. So again, why does that happen?
It happens because of staffing challenges, Scott. Team member performing different dispatch functions, like they're doing estimates, they're doing portal inquiry, they're entering service call coming from technicians and customers, and again, lack of SOPs and training. If you have everything available on your end or on your team member's end, and rather them asking questions to different L2 escalations or POC leaders, they can easily dispatch that work order right there and there after entering it from customer service end.
Yeah, wonderful. And I guess, Alvin, what we're talking about through customer service and dispatch is that client experience or that customer experience. We want that to be as seamless as possible in a world where we're dealing with things breaking, out of rhythm and not actually going to schedule. Okay, excellent. So we've talked about customer service and dispatch, and there's some real, I guess there's some similarities in both those departments. For the smaller businesses listening, you probably have the same people doing customer service and dispatch. For the audience that are working in or maybe part of a larger business, those could be separate departments altogether. But I guess the key for why we're talking today is how do we fix it? So if we come back to customer service, how are we going to fix some of these things like calls not being answered in real time, long handle time, and incorrect or lack of information on calls?
First thing that you need to do is you need to get an understanding on what drives this leak, Scott, and how do you do that? You need to go back to your data.
Yeah, okay.
Check on your staffing challenges, and knowing your peak hours and when and where your team members are needed in a day.
And like I think I said this in the introduction, none of this takes a lot of money or resources, but it can take time, which is money, which is resources. But I guess what you're saying, Alvin, is really look into those peak hours. And it's not always easy, but look and try and identify through the data, through the different software that you're using, when are those peak times in your business, and try as best as you can to I guess focus in on that. And then comes the real difficult one, and I'd be lost without having Alvin, I shouldn't say help me, take care of this entire process, but scheduling. Scheduling is an art. In a smaller business, it can be very difficult. So I do want to be real about this. In a larger segmented team or departmentalized team, scheduling can be a little easier, but it is definitely one of the areas you can work on. We've repeated this many, many times, but I think processes and SOPs, and again, when we talk about processes and SOPs, we don't talk about big fat documents that live somewhere else that no one, you need to blow the dust off. Really easy cheat sheets, very easy, quick videos is what we're really talking about then. What we're talking about there to really help you fix some of those things in customer service. And dispatch, are we going to repeat ourselves? Is it the same sort of thing in dispatch?
It's the same solution, Scott. And I'd like to add what they can do in resolving this profit leak, aside from staffing, identifying their staffing challenges. They need to, again, identify the KPI and set benchmark to their team members. Make sure that the team members are across and set their goal, their end of day goal, end of week goal, end of month goal. And aside from that one is you need to document your SOP and process flow to ensure consistency in achieving the results that you want to achieve at the end of the day or the end of the month.
No, I like that, mate. It really does come back down to data and looking into the data. So, okay, so for the executives watching today, what are the next steps that they can take to perhaps improve some of these areas in their business?
Address at least one challenge opportunity every month. Choose one challenge that you can work on for that month and then see how you can fix it. And
I think taking, everything you've said today, Alvin, I know we try as a business to fix everything really, really quickly. That's because, guys, that's our business. But for the executives out there today, and you want to do it on your own, you want to have a crack at trying to get some of these departments better, don't take it all on at once.
Yep.
It's a recipe for disaster. We're really happy to share some of this documentation for you to map it out. But I think that's a really important point, is just address one or two at the most areas and really look at the data and review them after a month. If you try and fix everything, I believe, and I think personal opinion, but you'll probably end up in the same place in a month's time. You'll just have angry, upset staff that have had to do extra meetings and hours and introspective looking with no real outcome. So no, that's a great point. And I guess, as you've kept saying, document those SOPs and workflows.
Yep, that's right, Scott. And if I can add more, Scott, my suggestion is they can start working on customer service, following our work order lifecycle, customer service going down to billing and collections, and then do a deep dive analysis, considering the people, the process, and the technology. Where's the breakdown?
No, absolutely.
Basically, yep.
Yeah, and look, we haven't talked about technology in this forum today, but certainly for everyone out there going, hang on a minute, we can do a lot more with that technology stack. You absolutely can, and that's something we'll address in another one of the summit sessions. But definitely, you could be using some of the tech that you see there, and there's plenty of different software and technology solutions, and utilizing them better can actually have an impact on customer service and dispatch at the same time. So, Alvin, look, thank you very much for your time today, mate. It's not often that you and I get to converse like this. It's been very fun to talk to my colleagues and actually do this with you. Guys, Alvin is more than happy to answer questions. Reach out to him through the summit. His details are everywhere. You can find him on LinkedIn. He's more than happy to talk with you. And if you really want to go straight to the guy that actually, Alvin doesn't mess around. He's a very data-driven, analytical guy. His job is to just fix the problems, and that's what he does for us extremely successfully, working with our clients. So, Alvin, once again, mate, thank you so much for your time today. I think this has been really insightful.
Thank you so much as well, Scott. It's a pleasure.
All right. Cheers, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.